I don't actually care if this offends you or not. The reason why you're not progressing towards the goals that you have for your business is because you're lazy. People see this word, they're like, nah, that's not me. I'm not lazy. But if I ask you, would you actually want to wait? For example, if I put a little graph here. If I drew, let's just say I draw a graph, okay? Okay, this is the graph. So this graph represents obviously time. This graph represents output. Let's just start O for output. So obviously over time, the more you do stuff, the more your output will increase. But there will be times when your output will decrease, even though time's increasing. And that's when people start to get lazy around here. They're like, oh, let me stop here because, I've already reached one peak. But even if you reach all the way to one peak, and let's say, oh, you conquered it. Imagine if you continued. The actual peak that you go up to is even there. And the peak is actually up here. And that's the difference between people that, for example, are lazy and people that aren't lazy. People that are lazy typically will post content, will get views, but doesn't even nurture the audience. When I say nurture your audience, I mean actually creating content that resonates with your ICP. That doesn't mean just post what you like because you feel like it's good. If I go over here to one of our clients, and what we can see is that there'll be some type of post that gets more engagement than other. And it's not just because of him using ads or anything like that. It's because he understands what works and what doesn't work. Which is why when we helped him with his brand scale from 3.7 to 3.4, it was possible. Because instead of just creating products, there's meaning behind it. The meaning behind his, obviously, is one of faith. So it's about bettering the lives of others. If we go back over here, if you stop on this time frame, then you won't ever be able to achieve the success that Christ wants you to achieve. The difference between people that are lazy and people that actually take action is just the ability to reduce the time it takes for them to produce things and execute things. It is very cool to say, yes, you want to achieve this amount, you want to achieve that amount a month, but do you know what it actually takes for you to be able to do this? You need to be able to actually produce things and also execute things in a quick way. Because if the time frame for you to get from here to here is long, then it's not going to help you because of the fact that all you're doing is wasting a lot of time producing stuff, but you're not actually executing on it. Creators that do well, like Praise, what they do is that they don't just wait and lay dormant. They actually take action on the things that they're meant to be doing. Yes, there'll be times when they might not post for long periods of time, but there's a reason why his views are consistent. The more that you understand your ICP, the more that you'll be able to grow your own personal brand and create a brand that's actually meaningful. Because it's very cool to say, oh, okay, yeah, we achieve X, Y amount, we achieve this amount. But what's more important than just the monetary goals, the monetary things you achieve, is the actual output. See, over time, your output should be increasing. But people get to here a lot of the time. They get here and they just stop. Why? Because they're like, oh, I've achieved the height. Because you've reached up here, you're like, nah, it's cool, I can now relax because I went all the way up here. Just because you reached here doesn't mean that you should just start being laissez-faire and relaxing. Because that's how it start to go down, down, down. And then you end up here. What happens when you end up here? In a new route. And you just stay here for a long time. Why? Because of the fact that you've become comfortable. And being comfortable is one of the signs of becoming lazy. In the sense of comfortability wants you to be lazy. Jesus does not want you to be lazy. He wants you to achieve the goals. And if you want to, instead of actually just going down and down, if you want to start going back up to the point where you're meant to be going to, up here, then what you need to be able to do is understand the difference between pausing for periods of time, so going and then pausing and then continuing, and the difference between doing that and doing this, which is going, saying, yes, I'm doing well, and then just relaxing, and then going back up. Because the more that you fluctuate in your ability to actually execute and the more lazy you become, the less you'll be able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So you need to be able to understand, to avoid being lazy as a creator and create a brand that's meaningful, whatever type of brand you're trying to create, whether it's a product or service, you need to be able to produce things and execute things. It's as simple as that.